Last time on Square Roots, Denam's on the lam again, so he does what he does best, slaughter an entire family and their fiancés. Meanwhile, Vyce strikes a deal with the Dark Knights, Zabos accuses us of working for the Duke, and Katua drops her truth bomb. Adopted fathers don't count, only birth parents are significant. Wow, who does she think she is? The vice presidential nominee for the Republican Party? Heyo!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I'm joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo, it's a me, Matthew Van Zant.
John Katua Brandon.
Oh no,
that's me. I'm Cat 2.
Sometimes you gotta Katua and sometimes you gotta Katua. Spit on that thing.
No, she's like Hawk Tua. And it's like, no, lady. You don't put a loogie on a penis.
Yeah. You don't loogie on it. Also joined by Vanessa. Sorry about preceding your intro with that gross discussion, Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa, and I don't have anything to say on this topic.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs one chunker at a time. This is part 6 of Tactics Ogre.
This game's long.
Hey, part 6.
How many more parts are there?
Well, how many parts was Final Fantasy VII Repopolis? It was like
5.
14.
It was like 5.
Repopolis.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, gang. I read somewhere last weekend that Chapter 4 of this game is as long as the rest of the game combined.
I beg your pardon?
And that's not counting the 100-level dungeon or the shrine quest. So to answer your question, I am hoping to get this done in 2 more episodes.
What?
Jim and Vanessa shouldn't have a problem with that because it takes them about an hour to do a chunker.
That's true.
It took me like an hour to do the entirety of Chapter 3.
All right, so anyway, I am hoping to get through this in 2 more episodes. I think it's mostly going to come down to old Jonathan Brandon.
Oh, wow.
So I did map us out to about halfway through the next chapter for the next chunker. And I really just kind of want Johnny to play it by ear, and if he feels like he's not getting it done, to just let us know.
Yeah,
John,
because I'm already about halfway there.
With your hands, not your ear.
Good one, Jim.
Thanks.
I feel
like
one.
you got me.
I liked it.
So I did finish the castle there, and then it's like I'm like, oh, huh. Then I looked at the FAQ, and it's like, now 7 more battles. And then I'm like, oh, no. So I'm almost finished Chapter 3. But I have 2 more battles or something. I did like 5 this morning. Or no, 3.
Well, if we have to break the last chapter into 3 chunks, I guess we do. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna
tired
try.
of this game. I want to fucking be done talking about
Matt,
it.
here's my solemn pledge to you. As I edit this episode tonight, I will have my Vita in hand as I listen and play and edit at the same time.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm not worried about it. You're a trooper. So, but I also don't want you to press yourself if it's too much.
Yeah, because work has been
hard to tell,
a little rough this week.
It's hard to tell with the guide because, particularly for Chapter 4, the guide that I'm using, a lot of it's broken down into like 30 chunks. But a lot of the chunks are like, recruit this person. So is that a battle? Is that a full thing? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, mine keeps going on about, and then you have to do this to recruit this person. But I killed her like 3 episodes ago, so that's not going to happen.
I very much don't care about recruiting these people. So
Ravness. It's not like there's so much you have to do to recruit Ravness, and she's dead. I didn't know that I could recruit her or that I could get away with that mission without recruiting her. So
yeah. I very much want to be done with this game and to get into our next game, which I announced on the stream last night, but maybe Vanessa would like to announce it for the listeners at home.
I'll announce it because I have chosen it, because I was informed that it was my turn to choose. That's right, sometimes we have votes, sometimes we have turns, and my turn came up. I have chosen one of my very favorite games.
Too much explanation.
All right. Forget everything I said. I chose Dishonored, and I won't tell you why.
Awesome. I love Dishonored.
Oh wait, no, you're going to talk about it? No, you don't get to talk about it. You don't get to tell me that I'm having too much explanation about this game and then you talk about it. Nobody's
so why'd you choose Dishonored?
You're explaining the fact that we take turns as if people don't know.
Nobody gets to talk about it. Johnny, I can't tell you. I'm not talking about it.
Oh, I want to know.
Yeah, you know what? I agree, and I like the way this is going. There's no more talking on this podcast.
Okay. Sometimes we also...
Johnny, there's no more talking on this
take
podcast.
Turns.
That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Sometimes we take turns voting, where it's like our votes are just from one person. I like those. I think those like one person votes tend to get some bonkers choices as we try to figure out like 4+ games that we'd want to play, and then sometimes they get really weird, and that's pretty fun.
Anyone got any hot gaming news?
Ooh.
Yeah, the entirety.
Wait, hang on.
All of the
What do we do on this show?
I already said it. All of the
No, you didn't.
Annapurna staff resigned. Annapurna Interactive staff
Yeah,
resigned.
that's terrible. But what is the reason? Like,
so they were in negotiations to spin off Annapurna Interactive into its own company. It was going to be purchased by Megan Ellison. Larry, old rich guy Larry Ellison, who founded Oracle, his daughter was going to buy it, and then she walked away from negotiations, and the CEO of Annapurna Interactive resigned. And when he did that, the entire staff also resigned in solidarity.
Interesting explanation. I feel like there has to be something more to that, like the reason that she walked away being something that the CEO didn't agree with or something like that, because
I think he wanted the company to be spin-off, and he was going to run it. That's I might be understanding what I read wrong, but I thought that's what was going to happen. And then now that it's staying, or that it's, that it's still in Annapurna, it's being run by someone else, who is now like saying that they're trying to rehire all their development spots so they don't break their deals with other developers, because they co-develop a lot of stuff.
Occasionally you'll see one of these stories where a company hires a new CEO in favor of someone else who nobody likes to work with, and then like everybody leaves and the company's still like, no, this was the best idea. And I don't understand how that ever happens.
But so apparently this won't. So is this their internal? Because they have like their Annapurna is a publishing arm, but they also have some like internal teams, right?
What do you mean?
Like, because they publish games, but they publish games like basically they started with that lady. My question is,
oh wait, Annapurna did Megan Ellison already own Annapurna, and she was
she started it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe she was trying to spin it off, and eventually it just kind of fell through.
Oh, okay. Because they start out as like a really boutique publisher of independent games. But they're like lately their first like string of 8 or something were amazing hits, but then they started to do too many maybe, and the quality wasn't as good as their first initial string of games. And I've heard that. I've played some, like they did Edith Finch and stuff, right? So definitely played that. I don't know what other Annapurna games I've played though. Anyway,
PS5 Pro.
So Matt,
oh right,
7 hundos American, which is going to be like 1,000 Canadian. That's a lot of money.
Not even a disk drive on that SOB.
No interest.
But
don't need it.
Okay, you can still get quite a bit for your PS5. So I could, in theory, trade in my PS5 and get a PS5 Pro, and then VR games might look better. And that is literally the only use case that I would even consider.
I just don't.
I don't play enough PS5.
I don't understand the reason for doing that instead of just having just upgrade your PC.
Yeah. I don't. That's the thing is I play most
and
games
they're going to be sending
on PS5 or PC.
They're going to start. They've said that they're going to start publishing more first-party games on PC, which kind of is the whole reason a lot of people buy the PlayStation in the first place.
Yeah, like I still can't play Gran Turismo on PC, and all the like classics and stuff. That stuff I really like, but that's not going to be improved.
No.
As someone who likes the catalog of old games, they aren't going to get any better being on PS5 Pro. So really,
no.
I'm probably not. If I get another PlayStation, which is a big if, because right now it sure seems like I just get another PC down the line. I think I'd just wait till 6, unless there's a convincing reason that would be like, oh, this would be so much better with a PS5 Pro. But I mean, I think I'm the target market because I make terrible financial decisions. I like upgrading stuff, and even I'm a little bit on this.
I don't see any reason for it. Personally, I'm not going to judge you if you decide to do that. But it's not for me. I'm good with what I've got. Thank you. And call me when there's a Switch 2. That will get my money.
Yes. But I feel like that's different. I still like... It's weird. The Steam Deck is more powerful. There are some reasons, basically, that I've sort of set up the more popular side of my YouTube channel to do Steam ports, Switch ports. Like, people like those reviews, so that's one of the reasons. But I just like playing the Switch better than the Steam Deck. I think that the Steam Deck has burned me twice now, where... Well, first of all, it runs out of batteries in standby in like 3 days, which is bonkers. And also, even when I fully charged it and I'm, charging my car or something, it will sometimes be like, oh, I need to contact servers to turn it on. And like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. What the fuck are you doing, Steam Deck? Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, PS5 Pro. What about anybody else? Anybody got any hot gaming news?
Apparently, Xbox just laid off. The Xbox team just laid off more internal staff this morning.
Boo.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, they're really laying people off. Well, they gotta make sure that money's put to AI, which is definitely not a bubble. These tulips are going to be super valuable. So we're buying up all these tulips that are definitely gonna make us so much money and not gonna be a huge disaster.
Like I hear what you're saying and I agree with you, but I feel like big companies like this feel like it's not like I think there's somebody at Microsoft that is like, I'm sure there is somebody that's saying that, but I feel like people know that, right? And are like, this is probably nothing, but they also feel like they have to invest in it to some degree just in case, Right. Like, you gotta hedge your bets on this shit.
Yeah, for sure.
What if AI does take off? I don't think it will.
I think what it is,
but you never fucking know.
Like, a lot of these, especially in executive leadership at these big companies, they need to appear like they're helping innovate the company or push the company forward, and AI is a thing that sounds really cool that like shareholders and boards of directors are like, yeah, that sounds great, but it actually has no fucking use at all, which is why they're trying to wedge it into everything to see if they can find a use for it. And
I do think there are some like applications they can use it for that we've talked about before that could be really handy for certain things, but those they want to jam it into everything.
Make as much money as jamming it into everything and then jacking up the prices.
Oh, I don't know, buddy.
Which is what Canva is doing. Like, they're like, here's some AI shit. Now we're tripling our monthly subscription prices.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there any alternates to Canva we can use now?
Not as good.
Canva is the fucking alternate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Canva we use as an alternate to Adobe. Now the monthly Adobe subscription seems cheap.
Oh, well, that the Adobe license, although in the licensing agreement, it says that they have a free license to whatever you create with their products. So if whatever you do with Adobe products, they have license to do whatever they want.
That's
technically
insane.
That's crazy.
It is insane.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we're
at.
That's
an update to the
Disney,
T's and C's that happened this year.
You can't sue Disney for murdering your husband because he was a Disney Plus subscriber, so they own you?
wild.
I know that got dropped, like they dropped that defense or whatever, but it's still crazy that it happened in the first place.
It is.
I have some hot gaming news.
Okay.
Football's back, baby! Woo!
Football is game, and Madden game sells so many copies every year, and every year we just ignore it because we don't play Madden game, and maybe we should.
No,
and
even I'm not interested in playing a Madden game.
Isn't Madden an RPG when you really think about it? Because can't you make your own player character and then give them stats and
Madden
then
at this
level
point.
up?
Yeah.
That's what
MLB's The Show, FIFA, all of these games are just fucking RPGs now.
Kat from Axe of the Blood God, she's always saying, like, because she's a big football fan, she's like, it's just a tactical RPG now.
Yeah, speaking of AI, like if you were to ask me, like, what's the next what's like a game franchise where they're gonna try to wedge some shitty AI thing into, and I bet it's gonna be Madden. Like next year there's gonna be some shitty AI
it's gonna
thing
I was gonna say Elder Scrolls 6
Yep.
is gonna be like, hello, would you like to help me fight some
I think Jim's right.
dragons? Racial slur,
Definitely gonna
racial
pilot
slur.
that shit in Madden.
Yeah.
All right. Well, does anybody else have any hot gaming news?
No.
Not really. I think I've said I've said my piece.
Here's some hot gaming news. Do we want to put the level up at the end today, or do we want to wait until we start Dishonored series to experiment with that?
Let's do it today. Let's do it. Let's experiment.
All right, listeners.
Yeah. We're innovating.
We're innovating.
We're gonna let AI do our level ups from now on.
Yeah. Now, listen up, listeners. If you love the level up, we're going to do it. We're just going to do it after the quest log. This is an experiment. Write in and tell us, do you like the level up after the quest log? Or did you hate it? Julie,
yeah,
Julie, there's no need to write in. I know you only listen to the level up, so you're going to hate it. Your vote does not count. I apologize.
We're going to experiment with it here and probably for the next few weeks, maybe through Dishonored. We just kind of want to see how it goes. We think it's an interesting change because I don't remember all the reasons that I wrote down. I was really excited when Vanessa suggested it. I had a lot of great reasons why I thought it was a good idea.
We'll just see.
We'll just see. Like, we think we want to get to the main stuff sooner. I think that having it separated from hot gaming news will help. Also, the quest log's kind of the work of the show, and I would like to not save that for the very end of the night when I am typically exhausted and drunk.
Yeah.
And if the level up's at the end, we can be a little loopier with it and have a little more fun with it, I think, instead of trying to push through it because we feel like we're taking too long. Yeah.
So
and
are we
also,
going right to the quest log now then?
I have heard for years that I've heard people complain about other shows saying, like, I don't want to hear you talk about what movie you watched this week first or what show you're streaming. I've seen people mention that for a variety of shows, and I agree, to be honest with you.
That's all I do.
So first, I do want to keep hot gaming news up top because it's more relevant, and also before we jump into the quest log, we need to do a little plug. Plug-a-rooney.
A pluggerino?
A pluggerino because it's spooky season and Scare Roots is back, baby.
Whoa, back with a thing.
I mean, woo, ghost noise.
We do have a stream you can find on YouTube if you search for the Square Roots podcast. We stream weekly. Jim, John, and I have been playing a variety of games. Johnny just finished Fantasy Star 1. It was a great time. We had a lot of fun. We're also glad it's over. And I did put a vote up in our Patreon, patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast for the next game we'll be playing, and I will be playing Illusion of Gaia.
But first, we're going to have, this week, I'm coming to the stream, and we're going to do something. I haven't quite decided yet.
2 weeks maybe, actually. Jim was complaining last night about us doing our chit-chatty episode without him, so maybe we'll do Jackbox or something this coming week, and then the week after we can do our Just Chatting ep, and then we'll kick off Illusion of Gaia. If that sounds good to the rest of you, it's up to you.
Sounds good to me. I just, my fear of commitment, I won't commit to coming for a whole game series, but I'll commit to coming to one-offs.
Yeah.
Hello.
I figured next week you can fill in for Jim, and we can just kind of fart around and do something. And then the week after that, we can do our Chit Chat app, which I think is not quite the same thing.
That's great. I can do my good Jim impression.
And,
it's
yeah,
just
that's a great
Kermit
idea.
the Frog. That's what you do.
Hi-ho, Jim Beggs here.
Jim and I, well, not just Jim and I, Vanessa and Jim and myself, and I bet John, you'll get involved too, have been doing some Scare Roots streaming with Halloween coming up. Just last night, which I guess would have been the previous Friday.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th, before this episode came out. Me and Gemini. Now I'm in my head about it.
Yeah, you're
Jim
overthinking
and
it, buddy.
I am.
Gemini.
Gemini. We played a game called Hollow Body.
Yeah,
That's what we did.
We did.
We thought it was going to be a fun, tight little 3-hour stream. We ended up going until 1:30 in the morning, and by the end of it, we wanted to strangle each other.
It took like 45 minutes for me to do the ending chase sequence. It took so long.
It was so funny. That was the best part of the whole stream. And thank you to everybody that came and watched it, and thank you for those that stuck around to the very end. I know it ran long, but I think we had a fun time. And so check out the Square Roots stream. There's another thing we'd like to plug, and that is Johnny's new channel, Bears in Games.
Well, it's hitting a year in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but we've only been plugging it on the show for like a month.
That's true. I'm working on my next video. I did a quick little Switch review of Grand Theft Auto 3.
Hey, I found that extremely helpful because I was thinking about buying that for $5, and I really loved the "should you buy this for $5?"
Yeah, I think it's
take on it.
It's fine. You know what? If it comes up on sale for $5, why not? It's not a bad way to play that game. It's just not the best.
Okay, well, don't spoil your video. Now nobody's going to listen to it.
Well, I think people will listen if they want to. And
they want to see the little pictures.
Yeah, I put... What?
You know, like little moving pictures that go in a video instead of a podcast.
That is how video works. Thank you, Vanessa.
It's been great. I've been enjoying it, and I think that you are improving every week. I think it's a fantastic little project you've got going on. So what are you working on next?
The Simpsons Hit and Run, but I just haven't had time to play it. Hell
yeah.
There's this game called Tactics Ogre, which has been taking up all my gaming time. But that's okay. You know what? Sometimes there's a Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Rehoboth that I gotta concentrate on.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we play a game that lasts 8 months and is very long. Mm-hmm. Don't blame me. This is the patron's fault.
I didn't blame anyone. Sometimes I've picked a long no. A lot of the time. Anyway, so...
Whatever is to blame.
Vanessa, why don't you sing us into the quest log?
Oh, okay.
Wait. I have one thing I want to plug.
Oh.
All right.
Speaking of Scare Roots streams, we also have some pretty cool Scare Roots content queued up for our patrons on our Patreon in October. John and I did a playthrough and have a discussion about No One Lives Under the Lighthouse. Couldn't remember the name of it for a second. Mm-hmm. Matt and I are gonna have a little chit chat about Iron Lung, and then we're all gonna have a bathhouse party. Talk about the bathhouse.
Oh yeah, I gotta remember to play that.
Johnny, it's been a few years since we've been to a bathhouse party, eh?
Iron Lung was fun, and I wish that everybody else was playing it. I think it would be a great game for the group to talk about.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm just gonna put that out there. It's a 45-minute game. If you were looking for something else to do before we record that episode, download Iron Lung. It's like $3.
Wait,
it's 45 minutes.
When's our bathhouse party?
September 22nd.
September 22nd.
I was worried it was tomorrow, and I was like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We're doing Iron Lung soon,
when's
aren't we?
Lung party?
Well, we're going to do it tomorrow, but we can push it if we need to.
We're definitely not going to do it tomorrow for the reasons I explained to you last night, which is that I am taking a day for my fucking self. As I said, I had to drink and watch football like God intended. I'll be drinking at 1 p.m. Do not expect me to be recording an episode tomorrow night.
That's okay.
We can record it in the morning if you want.
You.
No, thanks.
I mean, I can do Monday if you want to do Monday.
I'll be in Los Angeles on Monday.
Oh, I keep forgetting about that. Well, we'll have to do it when you get back.
Okay. Anyways, you can find all that sweet content on our Patreon at patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast. Now we can go into the quest log.
Vanessa, will you sing us into the quest log?
Sure.
Yes.
Denam's on the lam again, so he does what he does best. Oh, wait, that's just my last time. Sorry. I'm done.
Well, I'm going to grab a beer, so Vamp.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Vanessa. How is drinking your blood?
Oh, no, it's the Count Vampire.
I'm Vamp, the Vamping Vampire, and I fill space when Matthew Van Zandt is away from his microphone. Jim Banks, you likes this new character?
I don't.
I feel like
She would go away.
I'm
so
so
once
spooky.
again, we sort of are verging into Mabimbam's
Oh, damn
territory.
it! They do everything.
They've been doing it forever, and they do everything, so really all we can be is a pale imitation. We aren't even real brothers.
It's true. Should I bring my two brothers onto the show so that we can at least have
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's bring everyone's siblings. Let's bring Jim's brothers.
Yeah,
Let's bring-
we have way more siblings, so we could like totally outnumber the McElroys, and then they
That's
won't.
true.
Yeah.
My brother and 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 my twin sister and me.
And my regular sister, she could show up.
Yeah.
My
I
regular
don't know if
sister.
she'd appreciate being called regular.
Bring my son and my daughter into this. Be a good old time.
And I'll bring
All right,
my cat.
the quest log. Vanessa, I don't know if you saw it last night, but Dory made an appearance on the show.
I did see. She was licking your beard, as she loves to do.
She was not.
Wasn't
Was she?
I don't know. I
don't think so.
wasn't there.
All right, I guess I didn't see. I heard you talking about it. I glanced at the screen. I saw Dory. She was in your arms. I assumed she was licking your beard.
So last week we conquered the, what was it called? Brigantis Castle? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think kind of finally defeated whoever we were fighting there. I don't even remember who it was. The Goliath? No.
I'm
the
glad I'm not the
Gargastani?
only one who can't remember the names of anyone in this game or what's happening.
Goliath is
No, not Goliath.
the town that Denam is from that got burnt to the ground by Lancelot Bad.
Yeah.
It was that
it was
guy
the
who was like,
Galgastani.
he's kind of nice, but then he did genocide those people in that town. And then we're like, hey, stop working for the Duke. And he's like, I have to work for the Duke. And then we killed him.
No,
and
it was
he's
not.
like,
You're incorrect.
oh, I'm glad you killed me. I hate the Duke. Am I
That's
incorrect?
Leonar, and that happens in this episode.
Oh, sorry.
This was the kind of final remnants of the Galgastani, and we kind of freed the Galgastani rebels who joined our side, which is interesting. Anyway, but Coritine Castle was retaken by the Duke, and we are going to head back over there and take it back. So at the Bahana Highlands, we run into some Elmorkans who are chasing a blind man, and we help him fight them off, and he introduces himself as Hobie Rim.
Ho, ho, Hobie Rim.
Ho, ho, Hobie Rim.
He's a swordmaster, and I think at this point you can turn Denam into a swordmaster, which is what I did, because it's cool.
I think I let this guy die.
Oh, no.
He's dead.
That did
You gotta get
happen
a
to
beast-
me the first time, and then I reloaded because I felt like I really wanted this guy. I liked him.
He's
I liked
good.
his vibe.
You got to get a Beastmaster with the Lobber ability, which lets them throw potions across the fucking screen, which the chemists had in Final Fantasy Tactics, and you got way earlier.
Yeah.
And
That's how
again,
you
for
do it.
these
So that
battles,
helps for these.
If you're using the power of Andraste, you do have to toggle off enemies all have 1 hit point, because the people you're trying to save will also have 1 hit point.
Now, you know how
That's so
you've
funny.
made all your characters level 99, right? Does
Oh, no,
that
there's a level cap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Do that.
we
Level
haven't.
cap.
Does
I
that
wish.
mean does that mean all the enemies are also at the level cap, or are they at normal level?
No, they all have 1 HP.
Yeah.
Well, but if you don't set them to 1 HP, are they the same
they're
level
just
as you?
regular.
We don't have
regular.
Yeah, we don't have extra leveling. We just have
You can put on an experience multiplier, but that just means you hit the cap earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask, yeah. I like the Swordmasters. They hit pretty hard, and on top of that, they have, I think they're called dances, is that right? That allow them to do a variety of things like heal a bunch of people around them, or strengthen a bunch of people around them, or weaken a bunch of enemies around them, and that shit is really helpful. In fact, at this point, I think I use them more to do that than anything. So we recruit this guy, and then we head back to Coritine, and we retake it. And in doing so, we run into Leonar.
So now you have the fight that I had, like 2 chunkers, or last chunker.
Yeah, that's right. Leonar is here at the Duke's on the Duke's orders, and you actually get a choice here. You can either 1v1 him, or you can fight him with the group. What did you all do? Except for Johnny, who did it already.
I 1v1'd him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Wow.
No scope.
I should have 1v1'd him. This was probably the hardest fight of the game so far for me.
Oh, no.
It was fucking tough.
What class did you have
He hits
Denam as?
so fucking hard as a Swordmaster.
Oh, that's right.
He hit so fucking hard. He was like one-shotting my dudes, and I was so upset about it. And I died a few times, and I had to like try different strategies. I tried going straight for him, but it didn't work because he got all of his knights in front of me, and they have that rampart thing where you can't pass them. I think the way I beat him was I pulled in some dragons. The only time I've used dragons in this game.
I've got a
Where do
couple
you
of dragons
pull them
now. I
from?
changed one of their classes to be like a lightning dragon.
Yeah, I did the same thing, and I don't know why. Like, it just didn't make a difference. Jim, I'm going to need you to, like, get up and take a walk around the room or something and shake off these sleepies.
Took a long nap earlier.
I know. I took, like, a 30-minute nap, and I feel amazing, but the problem is now I won't go to sleep until 4 a.m. It's all right. The alcohol will help. So, you can 1v1 him. I fought him as a group, which kind of was a mistake. This was a real tough fight. But when it's over, we get a big reveal here. Leonar, who is kind of like, he almost at the very end kind of lets you win.
Yeah.
And then he's a little contritious about it. Did I use that word right? I don't know. He's a little contritious about it, and if you have Aracel in your party, they'll have like a conversation about how they used to be lovers.
Oh, wow.
And he is responsible for the death of her brother, and she fucking hates him. And she's like, this isn't the man you are. And he's like, no, this is the man I am. Like, I know what I did was terrible, and I did it anyway for my people because I love
to
whatever.
murder.
No, he's, this is the only way we're ever going to be free of whatever. And, it's like, bro, that's not true. There's other ways to be free without committing fucking genocide and shit and doing war crimes. But everybody takes a shot at him, actually. If you have Abuna, what did we call him? I can't remember now.
I have made it so clear, Matt, so many times that I cannot and will not remember the name of anyone in this game, and yet you keep asking.
You're not the only person on this podcast.
I pretty much
I have
am
a different
at the moment.
version of the
Questions are not-
story.
Jim's
My
asleep, and
my
Johnny
questions are
is
not-
playing a different version.
Well, anyway, the priest guy that we picked up earlier in the game will also shit talk this guy.
Oh,
But
yeah,
eventually,
Donatello.
Thank you.
Or- It's not Donatello, but it's like Donatello. Donato.
No, it is Donatello.
I didn't get
it's
any
totally
shit
Donatello.
talking because I did the one-on-one battle, and now I'm sad.
Yeah, I got some good story here. But at the end, Leonar tells you he wants you to go and kill Duke Ronway because Duke Ronway is making a new pact with the Dark Knights, which we discussed last week, and they're going to meet at Rhyme. But despite what he's telling everyone about how he's going to make this pact with the Dark Knights but then turn on them, what he's really going to do is sell all of Valeria out to Lotus to be the, regent or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, what's Valeria?
I don't know.
And what's Lotus?
Don't know.
Don't know.
But It sounds pretty bad.
Jim, go have a Red Bull. Like,
Well, I don't remember what Lotus is. Valeria is the continent. It's the big island you live on.
no, I don't. Yeah, it's not a continent. It is they refer to it here a couple of times as like the Isles.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well, there is kind of
I
just
honestly-
one
I think
island that they're on with a
Yeah.
couple of little ancillary
Yeah.
islands.
I'm
It's
starting
like
to think
Australia.
Well, I'm starting to think it's like England. I think that we're in England, and that Valeria or that Lotus is like the rest of Europe.
You're like the rest of Europe
Yeah, I definitely am.
with your bicycles and your efficient transit, weird racism.
Socialized.
Anyway,
healthcare.
And then Leonar dies. We killed him. We murdered this man.
Is he dead? I feel like he was
Yeah.
still alive in mine. I feel like he was chained up somewhere, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're thinking
No,
of
that's
good
Lancelot Good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, well, there are two Lancelots, so it's an easy
Yeah.
mistake to make.
Well, you mix up your Lancelots and your Leonars. And...
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, if you want to add in a couple of Johnny quarters to the notes, that would be great. Like, if you have any changes you want to, like you did last week, you kind of slipped a couple in.
Yeah, honestly, so far, so I got to Courtenay. Okay, I guess there's something I could tell you about now. I got to Courtenay, and the Hierophant of Galgaston was there. What was his name? Barbados? Barbsol?
No, but yeah,
Benadryl?
something with a B. Benadryl.
I got one of my random people that joined my party, like, you know how you get a bunch of people you can recruit. One was named Dristan, and that just makes me laugh every time. I feel like I should I should name next time we play Final Fantasy Tactics.
Dry Stan.
I should name everyone after cold medicine and different kinds of medication. I think that'd be fun.
Is Dristan a cold medicine?
Yeah, maybe you might be a little too young for this, or don't watch enough '80s commercials. But Dristan,
Or don't live in Canada.
no, I'm pretty sure that was an American one too, because I watch American '80s commercials. Matt, but it might have been a Canadian one. You're right.
I mean, what a weird thing to point out to me. I'm sorry. I assumed you watched Canadian commercials.
I watch
guess. I don't know.
American commercials, not
The best
Canadian.
commercials.
They're the best commercials. This is the best set of 80s commercials of any country of politics in history.
Everybody
They're
says
eating
so.
the commercials. They're eating your commercials. Execute the commercials.
Yes, I'm dating Laura Loomer. Yes, she's not as hot as all the other ladies I've dated.
Laura, I know
out.
this is like it's a bland joke, but I saw someone on Twitter call Laura Loomer Melania from Temu.
No, but Jim, you don't understand, because like he's cheating on her with Laura Loomer and Melania hates him. Melania's gonna be like the next Democratic candidate, and she has so much like shit. And I'm joking. I'm just talking about.
Yeah,
like,
no, she's got all the dirt, and she's going to spill that tea and not just sit back and take that sweet money that she's going to make when she gets to divorce him for fucking cheating on her or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Not if they win and they get rid of no fault divorce, then she's stuck.
Oh no.
That's been the plan all along.
Yeah.
No, if they win, she's gonna fall down a flight of stairs, and you know it.
Oh,
I
Johnny.
mean, I think the go-to move these days is to fall out of a window.
Oh, sorry.
Because Trump doesn't have original ideas.
She'll fall down some
so he's
stairs
just
and then
gonna
say
copy
an
food.
owl did it.
Listen, there's enough bad about Trump that we don't have to make up stuff about him.
But it's fun to do that too.
I don't.
You know,
I'm not sure it is made up. Just because it's not confirmed doesn't mean it's made up.
Yeah, doesn't sound any different than something that would actually happen.
And lawyers, this is satire. This entire podcast is satire. It is not.
I don't know that it's satire. We're just discussing current topical
It's just
rumors.
stuff I heard.
So we're not saying it's
people
true.
are saying this. It's not. Aren't saying it.
Everyone is
Exactly.
saying
You
it.
can
People
say
are
anything.
talking
You can
about
say
it.
everyone's
Everyone's
saying it.
talking
Someone
about
on
it.
TV said that they were eating cats.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I don't even like to joke about that. It is so
yeah.
virulently racist and
Yeah.
Duke
awful.
Runway has caught you sleeping at his mansion every night. We all know what that means.
Right. So, I've got So I met up with Emperor Barbasol, or Hierophant Barbasol, and he was there.
Hierophant, yeah.
So I made my way through his castle pretty easily. I don't know what's changed, but suddenly I've been having an easier time. I think it's because I spent like a couple of hours making +1 weapons and armor and stuff, and that really
I'm sorry
helps.
that takes you so long. I can knock through that shit in like 5 minutes, and I love it.
You know what?
But yes,
I made my bed.
+1 weapons and armor do make a big difference.
I made my bed.
Not only do they, I know.
And my cat threw up all over it.
Not only do the +1 weapons give you a stronger attack, but they also tend to have something. So when your ninja can suddenly, and well, it's not the ninja, but when your sword masters can suddenly breach everybody they hit, it's the best fucking thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, they definitely the crafted weapons are overpowered, but it's great. I like that a lot.
Oh, it was everybody that had a spear was silencing everybody they hit, and it was fucking amazing.
Nice. I gotta get to
okay.
And also like there's ninjutsu to poison your melee or ranged weapons, and that's pretty useful. And
or silence, which is also like I think I said this last week, but the ninjas for me are get the clerics and the wizards. Mm-hmm. That's their whole job.
But I also like
it works really
my
well.
ninjas can one hit clerics and wizards, so that's pretty useful too. So can
I can't do that.
Canopus, he is one hitting clerics and ninja.
What do you keep on him?
He's got a bowgun +1 so far.
I think I have a mace on him. I just like that big crunchy.
Nah, he's really good at the ranged, so I just keep a ranged thing on him. Yeah.
It's so late in the game for me to switch.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got like 30 on his. Anyway, did you have anything else to add on that?
So I plowed my way through the castle and defeated their knights and got inside. The Hierophant was there, and Denam's like, "You will give yourself up, and we will treat you fairly." And he's like, "Well, no, I'm not going to do that." He's like, "Well, there's two options here. Either we kill you, or you give up. So give up." And he's like, "No, there's a third way." And he takes out a sword and stabs himself. But then everyone thinks that Denam butchered, like all the Galgastani, a bunch of the Galgastani have joined up the ranks of the resistance, but the loyalists think that he has murdered the Hierophant because the Hierophant was killed in cold blood, because there's no one to say otherwise,
Right.
But he killed himself. That was
Except for the Galgastani that are part of your army?
Well, that's true, but they're biased. Are they even real Galgastani if they don't believe in the principles of Galgastan?
I don't think so.
They're just traitors. They'll be executed.
Jesus, John.
Yeah, they're not sending us their best.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I gotta say about that.
Wow. So yeah, then I'll talk about what happens next time. But that was a pretty fun. I would say, like, of all the, I really like Matsuno. He's the guy that made this and Final Fantasy Tactics. I like the way he writes political stuff. Like, interesting things happen. And it feels like I was captivated by this little sprite guy killing himself. It was a cool animation. It was a nice twist to the story. I wish, because I know that he was going to make, they were going to make a Final Fantasy Tactics style game with him and like the artist that did the portraits and stuff. But I think that was like a Kickstarter 10 years ago, and I think they ran out of money. And I don't think that ever went anywhere, which is too bad, because but he didn't like making big budget games. Like, he genuinely, making Final Fantasy 12 was so bad for his mental health, he had a breakdown and had to quit. Like, I think that kind of pressure is just really not working for him. But I really do like the stuff he makes, so I hope he can figure out a way to make smaller things, because he's really good at it. But mental health also takes precedence. Just because I like the stuff he makes doesn't mean that he has to do it for my entertainment and his.
I mean, if he likes making smaller stuff, making tactics games seems the way to go, because they're fucking, like, it's sprites and stuff. I would play more games that looked exactly like this. I don't really need it. I don't know. If they made like an HD 2D game like this, though, oh, mama. All right. Anyway, So
They
now that
did.
we've retaken
I mean, that's what
Kurtene-
Tringle Stringle is, but it's not that guy.
At Kurtene, Denam is trying to figure out, he wants to get to Rhyme, because that's where Duke Runway and the Black Knights are meeting. Dark Knights? Dark Knights are meeting, but he's everything, the only way to get there is through Almoriki Castle, and that's held by the enemy, and whatever. But then a guide comes in and tells him of a narrow pass through the mountains, but he warns him that it's filled with, like, monsters and demons. Whoa!
Oh, no!
But we're definitely we're gonna do it anyway. It's not that hard. So we head there, and at Mount Wilbury, we run into Ganpp. Y'all remember Ganpp?
The beast guy?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not...
The beast guy, Ganpp.
Yeah, Ganpp with the two... He's got the two chimeras. Everyone loves a Ganpp.
Yeah.
Yep, now he's got 2 chimeras and 2 griffins.
Oh, or 2 griffins. Sorry, 2 griffins, yeah.
He has 2 griffins, and now he's also got 2 chimeras.
Ooh.
And he's just a bounty hunter. He's all about getting that bounty on Denham's head. But this one's it's not like it's a tough fight, but every time you kill one of his beasts, he like buffs the whole himself and all the rest of his party. It's fucking annoying. And he always has like a line for each of them that you kill, where he's like, Zack, I loved you.
I feel bad, but...
Are all of
Everybody's
his
strengthened.
monsters named after Saved by the Bell characters?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no,
Zack,
Slater!
Screech, Slater,
Great.
and Tiffany. I don't know if that's a Saved by the Bell character. I pulled that name out of my
Yeah,
ass.
100% you got them all right.
Tiffany. There's a Lisa Turtle.
Zack, Screet,
Yeah, Lisa.
Screet, Slater, and Tiffany.
Zack, Street, Slatts, and Tiffany Turtle.
Yeah.
Tiffany Turtle. So we don't murder him, actually. He does run away.
He always runs away.
And then we get a great cutscene. Now it's time for another big reveal. We get a great cutscene back in Goliath. Katua is there. She's returned home because she's fucking so sick of Denham's shit. And guess who shows up? Lancelot Bad.
Oh, no!
Oh.
That's Eye Patch
got a big-
Lancelot, right?
Yeah, Eye Patch Lancelot. And he shows up. He doesn't do anything crazy. He has to tell Katua a big secret. Katua is really a royal garbage orphan.
What?
Oh my god.
Wow.
She's the Princess Versalia Oberith, daughter of the late king, whatever his name is.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's a bastard, though he did knock up a maid.
What about Denham?
Denham,
That's what
we're getting to it.
it's got nothing to do with Denham.
Yeah. Because
Uh
Denham ain't her brother.
What?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I ruin that?
Now it's
Sorry,
okay
Matt,
if
did I
they
ruin
now
your
it's okay
reveal?
if they kiss.
Well, I don't think they mentioned that here, and I don't think it's even revealed in this episode, in this chunker.
I was sure, because I haven't played ahead. I was positive that that's what happened.
Oh.
I think maybe did we learn that when we learned that they were orphans in the first place?
I don't think so. I think
I don't think
that
so
Well,
either.
I don't know. I didn't see it in the script for this section at all.
what
when
I
wrote the
recall,
notes.
and I haven't played ahead, so it has to have happened sometime in this chunker, is that he tells her that Denham belongs to some other, like he was just some other orphan.
Oh, okay.
So,
And then he says to Katua, he's like, and, you know, the proof for this is this necklace that you wear. And she's like, what? And he's like, you know, the inscription that says you're the secret princess. And she's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh,
And he goes,
I thought that
I
was
know
just
you've read
fun.
it before. Like,
yeah,
that did.
yes,
Like,
it's very weird.
yeah. He's like, you definitely,
I'm really
like,
glad you brought that up.
you have had it says you've had the religious training to like translate it, so you know it says like, to my beloved daughter, the secret princess Oberith, it's me, King Oberith, your dad, I love you. And she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I read it.
I always thought that was weird.
And then from this point on, she doesn't really say anything else for the rest of the chunker, which she definitely appears in it. So I think it's worth pointing out that she's just sort of like, okay, and just goes with them. And she does sort of make another.
I'll mention it.
She does some more speeches about like how Denham sucks and he's not even her brother.
I feel like it's a lot like the movie Legend with Katua. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Where
She gets
just
legend.
suddenly is. She gets legend. We'll talk about that later. But so Katua leaves with Lancelot bad for Heim. They're out of there. She's with Lancelot now, dude. Denam and the gang finally arrive at the... I can't pronounce this word.
Denam and the gang arrive at the Archaeopolis. Yeah, Archaeopolis of Rhyme. What's an Archaeopolis?
Archaeopolis.
Are you saying that
No,
Denam and the gang arrive at the Archaeopolis of Rhyme? He's got a big secret. It's so big time.
I love it.
I can't
I love
pronounce this word because
Archaeopolis
it's not a
of
real
Rhyme.
word, I think.
Yeah, it's a game word.
We arrive at the Archaeopolis of Rhyme, where he spots Vyce, but Vyce does not spot him. And then we cut away to Ronway, who is confronting Lancelot bad of betraying him. Vyce walks into the room. The Duke is like, "Oh, thank God, it's Vyce," and Vyce fucking stabs him, ladies and gentlemen.
Just, shanks
stabs him right in the tummy.
He's
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
"Hey, check this out! Check."
Is he dead now?
And then he turns around. Yes, fucking Duke Ronway is dead.
Well,
and then he turns on Lancelot and is like, "And now it's your turn, motherfucker." But something outside causes a disruption.
Aww, I want to see Vyce on a murder spree. This is great.
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed this.
Outside, the Dark Knights Oz and Ozma, who are new characters here. Can we talk about their names? Does anybody want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Oz books by Frank L. Baum were a
Frankelbaum.
Frankelbaum.
Frankelbaum, a sort of proto-feminist text. He was the the son-in-law of a significant suffragette whose name escapes me at the time. He created the Kingdom of Oz in The Wizard of Oz, but in the subsequent books in the series, we learn that Oz is ruled by the girl queen, Ozma. She's great, she kicks ass, and nobody questions her rule, and if they do, they regret it, because she's
I thought there were
charge.
like a parable for farm unions as well.
A lot of farm
right?
union stuff, a lot of communism stuff. It sort of talked about how in the geopolitical world of Oz, Ozma owns all of the land, but the people are allowed to sort of work it and live on it. I think they have a 30 or a 20-hour work week. It does specify in the things.
That sounds pretty nice.
They don't have a 40-hour work week. Everyone kind of does whatever job they're best suited for, and there isn't a distinction between, like, doctors being more celebrated than sock darners and things like that.
I remember in the original books, the Lollipop Guild did murder the factory owners.
Yep, they
That's
seized
a
the
joke.
means of production.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they can create the lollipops for themselves.
Exactly.
We've gone wildly off the rails here. Dark Knights Oz and Ozma are arguing with a Bakram soldier, and then Denam and his crew intervene. The Dark Knights flee, and we fight the Bakram. Then we cut back to Vyce, and oh shit, he's been defeated by Lancelot bad.
No,
Vyce!
Well, don't worry about it, because Lancelot decides to spare his life.
How
It's
bad
very
is
weird.
Okay, other than accidentally burning down a town once, how bad is Lancelot bad, really?
Well, he has an eye patch.
I
so
don't
you know
disagree
he's
with you, to
pretty
be honest
bad.
with you. Well, but now he's got Katua on his side, and he seems to have his own designs for the Isles.
He also has Lancelot good in a dungeon, but I guess we haven't gotten
Well, we
to
don't
that yet.
see that. We don't see that this chunker. You fucking must be
I
ahead.
didn't! I swear I didn't.
That's the beginning of chapter 4.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
Sorry, maybe I did play the beginning of chapter 4.
Oh.
I feel like once you save after the end of a chapter, if you don't stop right there, you have to play like another 20 minutes of game, and there's like
Yeah.
a big long cutscene you have to sit through before you get the chance to save again.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that feels like that's true for fucking every RPG. One more thing, though, before we cut away, Lancelot Bad learns that the Liberation Front have captured somebody that his Dark Knights were holding, named Abuna Prancett.
Oh,
Sorry,
no,
what?
not Abuna Prancett.
Sorry, who?
Abuna Prancett?
No, I refuse. No.
Yeah, no. Abuna Prancett, a very significant...
Stop saying Abuna Prancett.
Abuna just seems to mean like padre, by the way, like your father.
Well, funny you should mention that.
No.
Vanessa.
I mean... Vanessa's like, I'm going to participate in this quest log, but I'm fucking going to spoil everything that's happening at the end of the chunker and next week for sure. Let's stick to the topic at hand. Denham returns to Almorca Castle now that Ronway is dead.
Oh yeah. Now he's dead.
He's able to
both
rally the remains of the
timelines.
resistance. Yep. So it turns out that before Leonar left to go to, where did he go? Caritine. He told the remaining troops at Almorca Castle the truth, that he had been the butcher of Balma Musa. Mm-hmm. I got it. I pulled it out of my head. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it, and I did it. And he tells them that Lancelot's cool, not Lancelot, that Denham's cool actually, and that they should surrender to him if they get the chance and join him. And so they do. So I guess we're in charge of the fucking Wallister now.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, the Duke is dead.
I had a whole thing
army
about being asked to be in charge, like, because Leonar was like, hey, I want to assassinate the Duke and put you in charge as the figurehead. And you could say, like, oh, no, that's not really for me. No, thank you. I think that goes to, like, neutral path. Or
yes, it does.
Or you can say, yeah, I want to be king. It's great to be king. So that's what I did. Because, of course, it's great to be king.
Yeah. So the rest of the resistance has now joined us, and Denham wants to go assault Fidok Castle. That's the home of the Dark Knights. Mm-hmm. But a messenger arrives telling him that the Dark Knights have dispatched a small force to Bode Fortress to attack the Liberation Front.
Oh no!
And Denham's
why?
like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Well, we got to go find out. So we head to Bode. And when we get there, the Dark Knights have already wiped out most of the Liberation Front, and they've recaptured Abuna Prancett. We have to fight
Not
Oz.
Abuna Prancett.
And he's a... Yeah, I know. We have to fight Oz, and he's a creep. I would like to know what you all thought of Oz and his dialogue.
He's a creep.
He's great and powerful.
I'll cut your eyes out.
Yeah, he's like a weird sadist. He's not a cool Dark Knight like Lancelot Bad. He just sucks, and I don't understand why anyone wants him around.
Yeah, he just wants to torture people. He gets off on it, it seems. It's cool.
Yeah, and he's
Super
definitely
cool.
sleeping with his sister.
Yeah. Once we beat
you
him,
think so?
he does flee, so we don't get to kill him.
100%.
And then the remnants of the Liberation Front explain why the Dark Knights attacked in the first place, which, as I said, was to take back Abuna Prancett.
Not Abuna
And when Denham
Prancett.
hears that name, he says, "My father is alive?"
What? What a twist!
What?
So Abuna Prancett is Denham's dad?
Yeah.
Adopted.
What?
Adopted dad?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the
he's
one that
guy
you
who
thought was dead.
raised. Yeah.
Dadopted.
Abuna Prancett is the guy that raised Denham and Katua, and which we'll dig into more of that backstory next week. But
yummy.
for now, we know that we thought he died during the burning of Goliath, but apparently he did not. Where the fuck has he been? How do we not even know he's alive? I thought we saw him die. Like, I thought that was the whole fucking thrust of the game.
It is. It's the whole motivation that he and Katua have had the whole time, except then Katua just, like, decided that Abuna Prancett didn't count anymore as her father.
Mm-hmm. It's weird too because it's like I don't love this soap opera drama bullshit, but I do think it's decent. It's decent writing that at this point in the game, it's like everything you thought you knew was changed, and like all of your motivations are gone, and like what are you going to do now? Like it's an interesting twist, but to me it feels very soap opera.
I do think it's interesting as to like why they are keeping Abuna Prancett alive and why people want him, because as far as Denam is concerned, he's just some dude, you know? Like he's his dad, but he's not a significant political figure.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out why they want that next week. So what does Denam do? He heads straight to Phydock Castle, and he's like, I'm going to fuck these Dark Knights up and rescue my dad, which he doesn't do. Inside, we find Katua, who is goth now.
Mm-hmm. She's
cool.
She's been legend, as Matt says.
She's been legend.
Yep. She has her goth dress. She won't speak. She doesn't give a fuck about Denam.
First thing she does, she tries to fucking stab Denam. Mm-hmm. She doesn't say a word. She just draws a knife and tries to stab him.
You know, I said at the beginning, I hope she tries to stab Denam. And thank you, game.
She did.
That's great.
Yes,
that's all I want.
You got what you wanted.
From these games is for the lady character to try and kill the main character.
Well, obviously they perfected this in the next version of this, which was Final Fantasy Tactics, which ends with, spoiler alert if you missed that season and haven't played the game, which ends with the princess stabbing fucking Delita and leaving. Just fucking murdering him and bailing. So Lancelot Bad arrives and leads Katua away, and then Denam is left to deal with Oz and Ozma. We fight them. They do seem like they want to bang, which is weird. Mm-hmm. This is another, I thought, tough fight. Johnny, what did you get this? Oh no, I think you can recruit them.
I don't. So, let's see.
You will definitely have the opportunity to recruit them. Maybe not yet, but I know I saw that.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere. We murder them.
Yeah. So as far as like, I didn't get to this part of the chunker. I was moving my way to. I'm sorry. Tried.
That's all right. You don't need to apologize to me.
You can apologize to me though.
Sorry, Jim.
That's okay.
We also, the rest of us picked up a couple of white knights before we came here.
Yeah, they were just hanging around. They were some of the like crew of that first group that we met. The weird mercenaries.
Oh, okay, yeah, from the beginning.
White Knights fucking rock. I don't know if y'all know that. They have a move called Velocity Shift that speeds up everybody around them so their turn comes faster.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that.
Awesome.
Mm.
Also, they hit really fucking hard. I love these two characters. They have officially joined my army. Like, I use them in every battle.
I did get into a fight against this guy, and he was the one claiming that I butchered the Hierophant because I'm a soulless butcher, and I was trying to like kill everyone in the battle and not just kill the leader right away, but he like ran towards my party and just I had to kill him. He was just being super obnoxious with his spells and stuff. But I guess I need to get my all of my silence weapons out more often and just silence jerks like that, so I can take my time killing all the dragons and stuff.
So we defeat Oz and Ozma, but before they die, they imply that they've done something awful to Abuna Prancett.
Oh no!
Not Abuna Prancett.
Not Abuna Prancett.
My God, Abuna! No!
All right, one last thing here. This is another big thing that happens at the very end of this chunker. We get a final cutscene set at Heim. Vyce is about to be hung from the gallows by the Bakram. He begs for his life. He cries out for Denam. And as the camera cuts away, we hear the sound of the trap door opening. And then in a voiceover, Denam says, "It was 2 days before I learned of the execution."
Is he dead? You think he's dead?
No.
100%.
Okay, never mind.
I don't, but I like it. Like, I want him to be dead because I hate him, and it's a good. I don't know. He could be dead, and if he is dead, that would be satisfying to me. It would be a satisfying ending for this character. But if he's not dead, we'll see what they do with it. I don't know. I'm not super far past this, to be honest with you.
I really like the melodramatic kind of fantasy storytelling Matsuno does here. Like it's just really engaging. And that
it is picked up a lot here.
Yeah.
I feel like the first few. I mean, what are we on? Episode fucking 8 of this thing?
Yeah.
6? I feel like it's been pretty. I think it started pretty bland, but we're getting there now. Like shit's happening, twists are happening, consequences are happening, and I am really starting to enjoy the plot.
I think even like Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 12, they both had pretty slow starts before things start happening.
Yeah. Well, I think it takes a lot less time before you see your first Zodiac Stone.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what this game is, to me, is missing. It's not necessarily that specifically, but like...
I think it's the dash of Final Fantasy spice that makes it perfect. That's what this game is, to me.
I think where 12 succeeds is that as sort of annoying as...
Tactics.
What's his name? No, not Tactics, 12.
You're talking about 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Vaughn... Is it Vaughn, the main guy?
Van.
Vaughn's the main guy.
Is it Vaughn or Van?
Yeah, Van. It's Van. V-A-A-N.
Oh, yeah, Van. So as kind of irritating a character as he is, he does do his job of serving as an audience proxy for the world. And this game, I felt like, didn't give us any world building. It's just like, I don't know if we're meant to be reading the lore books or anything like that. It's more like sort of the old high fantasy books where you really need to like get into the glossary and be like, who are these people?
And it does have a glossary.
I would say a lot of the old high fantasy books did a much better job about it. Like Frodo is a great way in for the
That's true.
reader, because he only knows his small village that's very relatable to you. Whereas this is more like fucking Game of Thrones, where it's just like, here's everything.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I looked it up. Unsung Story. That was the Kickstarter game that Matsuno was doing. He wrote for the first couple of years. It did get a early access release in 2020, but still hasn't been released. And Matsuno asked to have his name removed from it in 2018. So
interesting.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, listen, I'm a big fan. I want to play triangle strategy as well. I love this style of game.
That's not by him.
Tactics is
That's
still,
just like an.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but it doesn't have to be. I like the style of game.
Yeah, for sure.
But they really don't make... I mean, Triangle Strategy feels like the first one that had come out in 20 years, and it doesn't look like there's... I don't know, actually, if you Google around, there are definitely, like, more indie and small studios doing games like this, but every time I, like, look into them and, like, watch videos and stuff, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. And, like, Disgaea and Jeanne d'Arc and...
Oh, yeah.
There are other...
there's I can never remember the name of it. There's one that was almost Pokemon-like, where you were like, which I know you do in this as well, but it was all about like collecting monsters, and that was your army. And I played a bunch of that. And Disgaea, I have not been able to get into. I would like to do one for the show.
That's definitely this, but horny anime.
Yeah, but horny comedy anime, which has I've always bounced off of. But I think if I was forced to get through some of it, I might kind of, people really love the combat in this game.
And
Jim looks like he wants to die. I just said I would like to play that for the show, and he put a gun to his head.
Project X Zone is a little bit of this, but the combat plays like Marvel versus Capcom. It's really neat.
Mm-hmm. I've played a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think those games they're a licensing nightmare. I would love to see a collection of those come out for Switch because they are so cool. But they do have like 8 different companies' characters in it. So you have like Streets of Rage guy fighting with Ryu, fighting with some people from Tekken, Mega Man.
Tekken.
Yeah.
All right, so next time on Square Roots, we are going to try to do half of Chapter 4, which means we're going to finish Barnicia Castle.
Ooh.
All right, so again, try to get there. Vanessa, Jim, I know that you can. Jim's not going to be here next week, so really, Jim, you've got 2 weeks. You need to finish this game.
Okay.
He can do it.
Vanessa, I know that for you, it's a lot easier because these battles take 2 minutes.
It's true.
I'll do my best. I'll start playing tonight.
Yep.
I'll keep playing.
Well, like I said, let's play it by ear. If it's too much, I don't want to overwhelm you. We can always add an episode if we have to. Mm-hmm. I am probably 5 or 6 battles into it, and I've got a ways to go myself. But I'm sure I can get there. All right. What do we do after the quest log? We talk about what we're squarely against. And we're going to start with Jim, because I feel like if I don't make him talk, he's going to fall asleep.
I'm roundly for Katua's turn as a dangerous goth.
It's pretty fucking great.
She's always been kind of an annoying character, and now she's a lot more interesting. What about you? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Interesting.
Go ahead, Matt.
Is she more interesting? She literally doesn't have a line of dialogue. Is that what's interesting to you, Jim? Women that don't speak?
Better seen, not heard.
She does try to stab Denam, which is a fucking twist.
That's pretty
baby.
cool.
Like, what a shocker.
She's over it.
Yeah, she's over him not, at least in our playthrough, she's over him not being a self-centered jackass.
Yeah.
Matt, what are you squarely against?
Not hooking up with Vyce. I'm roundly for the ending cutscene here with the hanging of Vyce. Like, I legitimately was like,
that was cool.
Screaming, what? Like, but like I said when we discussed it a few minutes ago, I liked it. I enjoy it when things like this happen in games where like somebody that you expect to have like a big final battle with is instead just handed the fucking consequences of their actions. Like I almost find it more satisfying.
He's coming back.
Maybe he'll come back as a good guy.
No body, no fucking death. We all know. Like this is not our first rodeo, but I liked it a lot. It was a good little twist there. Vanessa, what are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for Anuba Prancett. I think he's a great character. I can't wait to
Abuna.
I can't wait to see what Abuna Prancett does next. Are they going to be able to find Abuna Prancett? What will his condition be when they do? What will he have to say? Will Abuna Prancett tell
God, stop saying Abuna Prancett!
Abuna Prancett!
No!
Abuna Prancett sounds so much like a Star Wars prequel trilogy character.
100%.
I can't get over it. Great name, 10 out of 10. Abuna Prancett, the real hero of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, what are you squarely against?
I am roundly for so many people getting stabbed. Just all the people getting stabbed in this game. Some people are getting stabbed by their sisters. Some people are getting stabbed by themselves. Some people are being stabbed by Vyce. I think that I'm roundly for all the stabbing.
Johnny loves it when people get stabbed.
In games.
He thinks it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it for the quest log. Someone put in a music sting so we can transition to the level up.
John, how did you level up?
Hey, let's ease into it a little bit better than that, Jim. Come on, we can do it. How about
I leveled up
I leveled up by watching a show that Vanessa refuses to watch, Ghosts, the BBC, the original English version, not the version with iZombie in it.
Woo, spoopy ghosts. I can't watch this show because it's too close to my one true beloved. Sometimes you see someone and you're like, oh, he sort of looks like my husband. Maybe I'll go talk to him. Don't do it. Stick with the man you came with.
Well, you like Kyle, though, a lot, right? And you like Charlotte.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And what as if they were a couple in a house and they inherit this old manor, and it turns out to be full of ghosts, and then Charlotte hits her head and can see the ghosts, and what would happen then?
When she sees them, does she know that they're ghosts?
Well, not at first.
No, Johnny, I'm not going to watch this show. I don't know why you're trying to terrorize me.
But basically, well, you know what? There's a really good. She doesn't. There's actually. I would say that they do go back to that episode of her meeting someone and being friendly with them and not realizing they're ghosts until the joke happens of the scene, and that's always pretty great. It's only happened a couple of times, but I will say they do go back to that well.
It's
there are
too scary. I hate it. I hate it. Every time I'm watching some piece of media and there's a ghost, what you don't know is a ghost, and then you realize there's a ghost, it makes my stomach drop like nothing else. It's the scariest thing.
I will say season 2 seems better than season 1 was fun. Season 2 is better, although they are, I think, because it does start hitting like emotional notes, and I get uncomfortable when things get too emotional. I like a little bit of emotion, but then I'm like, I don't want this to become that Doctor Who episode with Van Gogh. I don't want every episode to be that, because that started taking.
Sometimes
over.
I watch the end of that episode like just on YouTube to make myself cry.
Aww. But I think you would like the show, Vanessa. I think especially in season 2, it finds its footing and becomes like, it's a comedy, but it has heart. And I know you like that.
I can't just go around watching every piece of media that I would enjoy. I'd never have time to do anything.
But it's got Taskmaster people in it.
I know. Lolly's in it, too.
Yeah, Lolly is so good. She's so fun. Her character's almost, especially in season 2, they kind of play out up the heartbreaking part of it. In season 1, she's just like silly. She's just very, very silly. She wants to be friends with everyone. But then in season 2, you start getting the impression she's never really had friends.
Aww.
And it's very sad.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't know. And she's so good in it, though. I really like her. Anyway, definitely.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
A good show. I did what, it's hard to show a comedy in a trailer, but that US trailer was terrible. Oh boy. But it's got Rose McIver, who we all loved in Power Rangers RPM and iZombie.
I think people
Was
like
she in
the
Power
US
Rangers?
version well enough.
Yeah, she was in the one that was filmed in Australia with the motorcycles.
Yeah.
She was the blonde.
That's not shocking.
Yeah, because she's the blonde.
I liked that iZombie show. It was fun.
Yeah.
I didn't watch more than a couple seasons, but I liked the premise.
It might have been New Zealand. Feeling she might be a New Zealander.
You're New Zealand.
I'm definitely not.
What a
Yeah, so I've been watching
revelation.
that. I think if you like a smart, fun, silly comedy with some heart in season 2, give it a shot. What about you, Matt? I know that you've been having not having a lot of free time, but how did you level up?
did watch. Thank you. I did watch some cooking shows. I watched a season of Hell's Kitchen because I'm trying to bring Gordon back.
Yeah, but
Bringing
you would
Gordon
have
back.
a little chef.
Take him to the kitchen.
It was okay. I didn't love it. I like the food. I mean, cooking shows are great, but so I didn't love it. And then I was like, I think I'm done with Gordon because Next Level Chef I watched an episode of and didn't care for. So
I like it.
and the American Kitchen Nightmares, unless it's gotten significantly better, I hated when I saw it when it first started airing here in America. British Kitchen Nightmares, best fucking show ever made.
That is a good show.
Anyway, so I switched over to Bobby Flay. I watched a season of Beat Bobby Flay. I watched the most recent season of Beat Bobby Flay. That's a pretty good show if you haven't seen it. Bobby, it's in its 35th season, and Bobby Flay does seem tired of it. He didn't seem to be having a great time. And then I watched another Bobby Flay show called, I think, Backyard Barbecue Brawl, something like that, which is another reality cooking show, but it's focused on barbecue. And man, I want to eat some barbecue. You know what I mean? Like, can I just get some barbecue on my face, please?
Delicious, sweet, sticky barbecue. Do you want it sweet or do you like it vinegary like they do in North Carolina?
I like it hot and spicy.
Oh.
Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on.
I'll tell you what is probably blasphemous for me to say. What I don't love is Texas barbecue, which is basically like sauceless barbecue, where it's just, here is the meat. I want some sauce on that.
Me too. I feel the same.
And other than that, yeah, gang, I haven't been up to much, unfortunately. I've been working a lot still, obviously. And I watched some bad movies. Y'all want to hear about The Crow City of Angels? It's bad. It's not a good...
That's not the Peter Sarsgaard one, right?
No,
Philip
that's the
Sarsgaard.
second one. The second one. I had something else there that I was just about to talk about, and now it's fled my brain. What was it? The Crow. Cooking shows. Haven't played any new games. Haven't seen any movies. Did a great stream with Jim just last night. That, as much as we were bitching at each other by the end, was a good fun time. My big complaints were that it was 1:30 in the morning by the time we were done.
Yeah.
And I was
Took
so
much longer
tired.
than anticipated.
I think I was asleep 2 minutes after that fucking stream was done.
I fell asleep after the stream was over. I went and tried watching The Guest and fell asleep immediately.
I love that movie, though. I didn't even turn my fucking TV on. Like, I just turned my light off and got
Crawled
in
to
bed.
bed.
I didn't even unset it. I didn't even take down my streaming setup. I just got in bed. So yeah, I did do one other thing. I watched a live event. I watched the first episode of the new season of the Flophouse Live.
Oh. They were talking about
It
RoboCop
was-
2, I think. Is that right?
They talked about RoboCop 2. I guess this second season of Flophouse Live is all about sequels. I'm very excited to hear them talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, one of my favorite bad movies of all time.
The Secret of the Ooze?
Yes, I love The Secret of the Ooze.
Me too.
I love Razor and Toka, and I love Super Shredder at the end.
I love
I
their,
even love Vanilla Ice.
their like subway hideout in Secret of the Ooze. It's so good.
Yeah.
I love how they're not allowed to actually make physical contact with the people they're fighting. So they have to hit them with rubber chickens, with their weapons, I mean. So they have to hit them with rubber chickens and pizzas and anything other than their fists or weapons.
I saw a video on TikTok today from the Flophouse, and they said that one of their next episodes is going to be about the movie it's called Dangerous Game, The Legacy Murders, which I've talked about on the show before as a Jonathan Rhys-Meyers movie that's part of the JRMCU, as I like to call it, the Jonathan Rhys-Meyers Cinematic Universe.
Actually.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
That movie is fucking wild, and it's a huge piece of shit, but I'm actually excited to hear them talk about it.
It'll be a good episode, I'm sure, of their podcast, which is not what I'm talking about. I really enjoyed the Flophouse Live. I missed the entire first season and was bummed about it. I wanted to watch it, and for some reason it just never lined up for me, so I was glad to be able to check it out. I will say this. They're trying to do a hard 1 hour, and I don't know why. Why are you not going for 2 hours on this thing? And the other thing I'll say is, and I don't really know what to say about this other than that Stuart Wellington they joke about it all the time on the show. That dude's fucking handsome. He's movie star handsome. Not a joke. That dude is distractingly handsome.
No.
He's got a face like a fucking male model.
I had the
He's
same
a silver
thing.
fox.
Yeah, I assumed
It's crazy.
When I first heard of Stuart and everyone said he was handsome, I assumed he was podcast handsome, which means that he's a normal looking guy and not a terrible podcast troll like the rest of us. But Matt is right. He is genuinely handsome.
It's kind of shocking to me that he does what he does and not works for a fucking modeling company or something. Anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I will definitely be watching. I think they're doing Breakin' 2 next week, or next month, which I I know I've seen it, and I remember the like dancing up the walls stuff, but that's fucking it. That's all I remember about that movie. So I guess it'll be a good time. But it was nice. It was one of those things where like I wanted to like, I wish that there was just an app that I could turn on to watch it. But instead I had to like plug my laptop into my TV and use my headphones to really get like the, what I thought of like the full experience. It's weird. Like I get that you're doing your thing and you're like charging for tickets, but I don't understand. Like, why are you not just on YouTube? Like I can turn YouTube on my television. Why are you not just on YouTube?
They gotta get paid.
Throw some ads in there, dude. Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe YouTube should allow private streams.
Only two.
Anyway, that's it for me. Like I haven't done a ton. I'm busy, and it was my daughter's homecoming today. I sent all of you pictures, and none of you had a word to say to me.
I definitely didn't see those. Oh, there they are. Oh, she looks adorable. That is not at all what I thought she would have worn, but no, it's great.
It looks really cute.
Sweetest child on earth. That's it. That's how I leveled up. Who's left? Anybody? Johnny? Did you know Johnny talked about ghosts?
That's all of us.
How did you level
all
up?
3 of us.
Jim, did you say you have to go?
I have yet to level up. I don't think Vanessa's leveled up either, though.
That's true.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said I have to go, and I was like,
Oh. I would like to have a hard stop at 9 because I'm gonna go see Speak No Evil tonight.
Oh, wow.
That
He gave in.
Terrible.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go
Yeah.
fast. I touched grass. I went outside and went to a very large park with some friends. We packed up a little backpack with art supplies. We brought watercolors. Brought sketch pads. We brought pencils and stuff. Brought a picnic blanket. Brought some sandwiches. And just rolled ourselves out a little art picnic where we ate a little bit and drew and painted, and it was amazing. It's been a hot, sticky, terrible summer. This day was 74 degrees with a lovely breeze. It was perfect. It was a perfect outside day. I'm not an outside person, and if you're not an outside person either, I suggest doing the hack like I did. Like, find some kind of activity that you like to do and just do it outside instead of inside. You can bring your Switch. I don't care. Nobody's going to care. Wear headphones. Don't noise pollute, but go touch grass. It's actually good. Like, they weren't kidding. I also, there's nothing I love more than Barely Legal Girls. I talk about it all the time.
What?
Excuse me?
Pardon?
I've been watching my favorite genre, Barely Legal Girl movies and
Girls
television.
Gone Wild.
I watched a documentary called Bama Rush, which is about the University of Alabama sorority rush. It's on Max. And it's about these little girlsies. They're like mostly, I guess, 18, 19, some of them maybe 17, things like that, trying to get into sororities. I thought it was an interesting concept, but I really didn't like the documentary. It's one of those documentaries that turns into being more about the filmmaker than the subject, and I didn't think that it earned that. But because there is this documentary out, there's tons of Bama Rush content on YouTube that started popping up in my algorithm, and girls talking about their sorority experience, and I think a lot of people are very interested in it because most of us didn't have or want or have access to that kind of experience. To me, when I see like their videos of, they'll do like a TikTok of 2 girls opening the doors to their house, and then inside is just like a stack of these girls yelling and clapping and singing songs about their sorority. It looks like a nightmare. It's horrific and horrifying, and I can't imagine living in a situation with that much socialization. It makes me want to curl up like a snail. I've also been watching on Netflix Pop Star Academy. This is also about little girls, by which I mean like 17, 18, 19-year-old girls. They are trying out for a like Korean style girl band, but it's being cast globally, and they're based in Los Angeles, and they're sort of in pop star training camp. So they have, I think, 14 of them at this point, and they are learning how to sing and dance, and they've been recruited from all over the place. And the goal is ultimately to get a girl band of 6 members together, sort of out of this class of people who they're trying to train up to be this very particular kind of pop star. The pacing is a little bit off on it, I feel, but it's interesting to see this sort of very corporate process towards music making and putting a group together. So, if like me, you like barely legal girls, check those out. Jim.
That was maybe the most disturbing level up I've ever heard from Vanessa, and I'm creeped out.
All of Vanessa's,
and Johnny, I think you should cut the whole thing.
Vanessa's barely legal content corner. I leveled up by buying and playing the game Astrobot, the hot
so
new
jealous.
PlayStation platformer, and it's delightful. What a fun little game! I enjoy. So the setup of the game is you're an Astrobot and you're with a bunch of other Astrobots, and you're in your spaceship, which is actually a big PS5, and an alien comes and catches you and breaks your PlayStation and strands you on a planet and scatters all your little robo buddies around this galaxy. So you gotta fly around and go to all these different worlds and find all your Astrobot buddies. And some of them are just regular bots, but a lot of them are modeled after PlayStation game characters. And there are some real deep cuts. Like, I found a bot that was the main character from Wild Arms, the original Wild Arms game.
Oh, wow.
There's a bot that is Teddy from Persona 4. Ooh. There's bots for a bunch of Castlevania all the like Metal Gear Solid characters. There's like a Psycho Mantis robot. There's a Raiden robot. There's like a Solid Snake robot. There's a bunch of fun little robots. And at the end of every little section of the galaxy, there's a world where you get like an item from an iconic PlayStation character. So like the first one is Ape Escape guy. You get to put on his Ape Escape outfit and use his net to catch little ape bots. And one is one that I just completed today was like a Nathan Drake world where he gives you a gun. You get to shoot monsters with Nathan Drake's gun.
Wow.
And then the one before
Nathan Drake's gun? Does he have a special gun?
No, it's just a gun.
That's dumb.
And then there's one where you're playing as Kratos, a Kratos bot, and you get to use Kratos' axe, his Leviathan axe, which is pretty fun.
Wow.
It's super fun game, and I like it a lot, and like every little thing about it is so finely tuned to just be super delightful and fun. All the fun sound effects and the levels have such great designs, and the movement just feels so good and fine-tuned, and it uses the controller in really special ways. And
does it use the haptic controller? I was going to ask about that.
Like the DualSense?
Yeah, like does it have haptic features and things?
Yes, and it's always making sounds, and it uses the adaptive triggers a lot, because like you fly from world to world on a little mini ship, but the ship is just like a DualSense controller. Yeah, like that. And you fly it around, and you can you can tilt the controller to fly in different directions, and you press the triggers, the L2 and R2, to like go faster. And it's fun. Like there's a lot of like after every little world section, your objective is to find pieces of your ship, which are just pieces of the PlayStation. Like one of them is like oh, you found your ship's memory, and then you have to put together the memory of the PlayStation and stick it in the PS5. There's a lot of fun little details like that. But I would say
a sequel to Astro's Playroom, right?
It's kind of like like Astro's Playroom was kind of like a tech demo or like a tech showcase.
And there's also the VR game I never played, the Astro's.
I never played that either.
Bot thing.
Yeah. But this game is awesome. I've probably put, I don't know, maybe 6-7 hours in it, and I'm probably like a third of the way through the game. So it's a decent length. And there's lots of secret stuff to find. All the worlds have a set number of robots you can find, and then you have to find these little puzzle pieces. And if you get enough of the puzzle pieces, it unlocks areas in the world where all the bots are hanging out. So like one is like a garage where you can customize your PlayStation controller ship. One is like a place where you can put on different outfits that you collect. It's super fun. I'd say check it out. And I also went and saw Beetlejuice, which was fine. I didn't hate it. But
did you? I don't remember hearing you say a fucking word
Yeah,
about
me neither.
that.
This is a big
I
surprise.
saw Beetlejuice. Remember, I was like, I'm about to see Beetlejuice, and Matt's like, I don't care about Beetlejuice. And I was
I
like,
don't care about Beetlejuice. I don't give a shit about Beetlejuice. That's one of those things that, like, I feel like my generation loves, like, Beetlejuice and Goonies, and I just never cared. I never gave a shit.
One thing I liked, I'd say the thing I liked the most about Beetlejuice is that it's constantly threatening you with a Jeffrey Jones cameo that never happens.
No,
but like
that's the biggest horror
like,
of all.
they're talking about Jeffrey Jones, and like so in the movie he's dead. That's kind of like the setup for the movie, is that Jeffrey Jones has just died. But you see his death is very gory, and when you see him in the afterlife, like, he doesn't have a head anymore. So it's like, oh, that's Jeffrey Jones, but like there's no head, like the top of his body's gone, and it's just like spurting blood out of it. It's really funny.
And do they talk about his crimes that he was convicted of?
Yeah, his death, he actually gets put in the chair. That's how he dies.
I've heard that it feels like two movies stuck together, and one of them seems to kind of exist to shoehorn in Tim Burton's new girlfriend.
Yeah, there's definitely like the Beetlejuice movie, and then there's like this kind of like slasher-esque movie with her in it that's happening like in parallel with the rest of the movie, and they like barely connect to each other at the end. But I was fine with it. It was fun. Like all that slasher stuff had fun characters in it. Like Danny DeVito has a fun cameo in it. There's some fun stuff happening, but it kind of, I completely forgot about it as soon as I left the movie theater. Like, there's really no substance to it. But Michael Keaton was fun.
It's an interesting take, because I saw a lot of reviews that seemed to really like it.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously,
it was fine.
I was like, I don't care.
It's a perfectly serviceable movie, but it's not, I mean, it's not great. But Michael Keaton is still really good as Beetlejuice, and Winona Ryder was awesome as Lydia Dietz, so that was fun. That's it for me. That's it for leveling up. We did it at the end. First time.
I liked it.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Now we gotta blast through these Patreons, though. What is the Patreon?
Yeah. Sure, patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast. That's where we have all of our great bonus content. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we have some good Scare Roots content coming. Lots of other fun bonuses on there. Some level up episodes, some Square Roots Versus episodes, some Instant Classic episodes, and some fun things like movie commentaries and that kind of stuff. If you'd like to check that content out, you can subscribe at the $3 level. If you subscribe at the $5 level, you get access to all that content, plus the ability to vote on games that we play on the show. Once we get into Dishonored a little bit, we'll kick off another vote, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, you can join, you can subscribe to that at patreon.com/SquareRootsPodcast. And another benefit of being a patron is we like to personally thank some of our patrons on the show. And I will kick us off this week by thanking, it makes me uncomfortable to hear my name read on a podcast, Faye Fong Dong, William Westgard, J-Bone, Stephen Paget, Chris Sasaki. No, like actually Seattle Sounders are really host world... No, like actually Seattle Sounders are really host Club World Cup next year.
Doubt it.
Brian Pitt,
Okay.
Ron, and Jake Dickerson.
I'd like to thank Butts on Parade, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Andy M., Mostly Rational Person, Cameron Shoei, Ari Kopovara, I Kill Gods for Fun, Anthony Lerma, Hayden Neff, and Rubber Bear.
I'd like to thank Loafing Around, Addicted to the Smell of Natty Ice, Nick, Joshua W. Broxson, Star Drifter, Florian Jonas Kramer, Omaha Zookeeper, Matt Jorgensen, Arthur, Chris Parsons.
And I'd like to think my battery is low. Vanessa's mom's mysterious past. Oh no. John B. Quaker Oatman, Cerulean. It's July, John whispers with disdain. To Bumpkins has twins now. Cut me some slack.
Aw, congratulations, Steve Upkids.
Yeah.
Cool.
Two little bumpkin babies bumping down the road. One says hi, one says bye. What a heavy load. Andy Smith.
Are you saying that Steve Upkids' load was so big it made two babies? Because I feel like that's graphic, Vanessa.
DP 2099. I would subscribe more on Patreon, but gotta save up for Dan Flashes. And Ryan.
All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email to have read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people, or find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Ghana, wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on YouTube. Links are in the show notes. Farts.
All right, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Farts Lucas. Wait, no, Farts Van Zant. Jet!
Doxing yourself, I see. I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Abuna Prancett.
No!
Bye.
Bye! Boy, we nailed that. 2 hours. Pretty good.
Holy shit.
Johnny.
We saw it.
You scared me.
Got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did? Oh, my
Listeners, Jim just got scared by his hot girlfriend. She was waving at us behind him, and he didn't even notice. That's just what
I'm gonna
happened.
come say hi. Oh.
And then it was a big jump scare.
Jump scare.
Hello.
Whew, scared me.
Oh, you know what? Anytime something scary happens in any of the games I review, although most of them haven't been horror so far, I should put in that Justin McElroy going, jump scare! That would be very funny. Are you saying that
I have-
Denam and the gang arrive at the Archaeopolis of Rhyme? He's got
Hey,
a big
yeah.
secret. It's so big time.
I love it.
I can't
I love
pronounce this word because
Archaeopolis
it's not a
of
real
Rhyme.
word, I think.
Yeah, it's a game word.
Yeah.
Jim, say rhyme and time, and I'll cut you in so it sounds cool.
Rhyme time.
Thank you.